What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gaming Without Parole, episode 30.
30? Oh, wow.
Big 3-0.
The big 3-0.
Yeah, we're 3 decades old.
It's time to start having existential crises.
You know, it's weird. I was asking somebody at work. I was like, can you use the term decade for something other than years? You know, like, we're 3 decades old as far as, like, 30 episodes. And he was like, you mean get a stack of, like, a decade of pancakes? I was like, yeah, you're right. It's just for years.
It doesn't. I don't think it works that way, unfortunately. Originally it probably would work that way because all of our numbering comes from the Roman system, and it was all based off of military formation. So you probably could use it for like people.
If I was smarter, I could probably justify my usage of it, but I'm not.
You could be a trendsetter. Just say it with confidence, and everyone else will eventually just follow along.
Yeah. My name's Bryan Paul, and across from me is the ever-illustrious Mike Zeller.
Yep. So where is everybody else today?
I don't know.
You said they weren't going to be here, but you didn't say where. They're just gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't show up.
So Jobby is at like an all-weekend rave with, this is the best part, his boyfriend and his mother. Yeah. I can't wait to hear the story.
Yeah, seriously. That's going to be... everyone buckle in, because next week's podcast, that's all we're going to be talking about.
I'm so excited. And actually, with any luck, there's going to be a video preceding this video for our introduction of Jobby introducing the show for us from the rave.
Nice. That'll be awesome.
I'm very excited.
So I'm picturing an all-weekend rave, like, they kind of strap you into the wall, and you're just, like, raving, and then, like, as you get tired, you just, like, nod off, but you're still upright and stuff, and then you wake up, and you just start raving again. They have people, like, pushing around carts of, like, scrambled eggs that they just spoon into your mouth every once in a while.
Yeah, no food. No food. Anytime I went to raves, there was no eating involved.
I mean, I would assume not, but a couple days without food, that's a little rough.
Done it. Yep. Just take more drugs.
Yeah.
That was usually the prescription.
There's special food.
And Brett is
lost in the building, as we were discussing.
I don't actually know what Brett's doing. I just know that this week has been really rough on him work-wise, and he just needed a break. Maybe needs to sleep in. So with any luck, next week everyone will be back. And hopefully we can hold down the fort while they're gone. This is, and for anybody who's been watching us for a while, this is what we used to do. Yeah,
this is the old school Gaming Without Parole.
I mean, there's like 20 episodes of this on YouTube, and another 50 episodes in MP3 form that
are lost to the archives.
Yeah, if anybody's really interested in hearing those, let us know, and we'll make them available to you. But there hasn't been a whole lot of fan outpouring. All right, Mike, why don't you tell the people at home what we do here on Gaming Without Parole?
Apparently we just discuss the personal lives or our colleagues on the air. Yeah, what's up, guys?
Hey, this is what happens when you don't show up. I'm going to start telling personal secrets and stuff. Yeah.
Brett just wets the bed all the time. Oh, my God.
It's the candy intake.
It is. It's he's diabetic. You usually have some kind of bladder problem. When
he's not diabetic.
No, he's not diabetic.
I don't think so.
As far as we know.
God only knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just talk about video games. We used to have loftier objectives, but I think we put on an okay show every once in a while, you know?
I mean, it entertains me.
Yeah.
And that's really the only point.
It basically keeps us all from just sitting and staring at walls for 1 more hour a week.
And killing people.
Yeah.
Keeps me from killing people.
Okay.
Yeah. I gotta this is not good. I got a call yesterday from a number far away.
Okay.
And it was some very trashy woman saying, "Just call." And I was like, "Huh? Just call?" And I said, "No, miss, you just called me." And she goes, "Well, you must just call because I called you back." And I was like, "No, well, I didn't call you, so I don't know what the problem is, but I didn't make any calls, so sorry." And she goes, "Well, how do you think I got this number if you didn't call me?" And I literally just had to stop and be like, "Lady, this is the dumbest fucking conversation I've ever had in my life." And then she started calling me a cocksucker and a faggot, and I was like, "You're very perceptive for being very white trash." Yeah. And then I started to get like mean and finally hung up. But I did yell after calling her trash and all this other stuff, I did yell, "Happy Halloween!" right before I hung up the phone. So I hope that it was all in good fun at the end of it all.
She hung up, a smile on her face, and
it was great.
Just went back to her job in the slaw factory.
It was actually pretty great because you could just from the sounds I was getting through the phone, because I had my headphones on because I was listening to music, and then she called and I was like, "Ooh, this is really, I'm really in this woman's room right now," and I could hear the drunk. Probably not husband, probably drunk boyfriend in the background. There was like a
drunk common law husband.
Exactly. I could hear like some TV noises, and it didn't. And in my head, it was like just a piece of crap, like TV from the '80s or something. And there's a baby crying. And in my head, all I could think was, this woman has more important things to take care of than figuring out, y'all call. So, if you happen to be watching, which you couldn't possibly be because you have yet to hear of the internet, happy Halloween.
I like to imagine that after you hung up, camera cuts back to her, and she's in this like kind of Yoko Ono style bohemian outfit and is standing on a stage in like a coffee house and has a tape on in the background that's like redneck sounds, and just clicks it off, hangs up the phone, clicks off the tape, and just stands there, and everyone just like quietly applauds. Yeah. Oh, sorry. This finger snap. This is elaborate art project.
Yeah. And I was the star of her show.
You were.
Yeah. Mike, you weren't here last week.
I know. What happened?
How was that press conference?
Yeah, it was great.
Were you at Paris
so
Games
much
Week?
Press. Oh, fuck. I forgot to watch that. You told me to do one thing, and I didn't do it. Shit.
This is kind of how things work around here.
Oh, damn it. Sorry.
So you weren't at Paris Games Week.
No.
Okay. According to Brett, you were at a press conference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there were any reporters where I was.
I
did give a talk, though.
Did you? Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What was it about?
About the conference. What to do, what not to do.
Did you have time to play any games in the last 2 weeks?
I did. I'm kind of in one of those modes, though. I feel like I hit this every once in a while where just nothing feels like a good fit. Well, so I've been jumping between a lot of stuff.
You also said that maybe it's time to upgrade.
I did, yeah.
Because, I've been buying stuff left and right on, they've been having great Halloween sales on the PlayStation Store. And I bought, 6 games, I think, in the last couple of weeks for, grand total less than $40. So you need to get on board so you can catch those kind of things, and then you'll be inundated with great things to play.
Yeah. No, there's lots of good stuff to play. I just haven't been in the mood for a lot of stuff. I ended up finishing a playthrough of the expansion for Shovel Knight.
Okay.
And I played through Castle Crashers twice in 2 sittings, one sitting apiece. So.
Did you play with other people?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently, I'm in the mood to play sort of retro games about tiny knights.
Yeah.
So maybe a Half Minute Hero, a replay of Half Minute Hero is the next one up.
Yeah, maybe, right? Wow.
Yeah, and so I'm only bringing this up because I want to say a little bit about this style of game. I've continued to play Record Keeper, which has kind of become, for me, it's like my Angry Birds, my Tetris. I fire it up when I have a few minutes during the day, dick around a little bit, and then I go, on to something else. I get my couple of free bonuses every day.
Sure.
And I was thinking, I know the last time I brought this game up, I was sort of complaining about it because I felt like the balancing wasn't right. But I still do enjoy it. I like the downloadable the extra dungeons they drop every once in a while. I like the structure of just having this real, pared down mechanics, grindy mechanics. But what it got me thinking about is every once in a while you'll hear from people saying free to play doesn't have to be shitty. There are some good free to play games out there. It just depends on how you implement the mechanics. And I thought, thinking about that in the context of Record Keeper, I thought, yeah, this is still a pretty okay game. I'm enjoying most of my time with it. But the reality is, you can still have good free to play games. But the reality is, the free to play mechanics always take away from the game.
Yeah.
I can't help but think like, oh, this is a pretty good game. It would be better if they didn't have all this timed garbage, or if they didn't have like, if they weren't hassling me to buy shit every once in a while to upgrade my guys. Like,
that's totally true.
There's no way that those mechanics ever, certainly not improve, or even ever like totally work in a game. It's always just how good are the developers at minimizing this shitty aspect of things.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know what to say about other than just it's a shame that that's the direction that so many games are going nowadays.
Right. I mean, it sounds like a game that like you would have been more than happy to pay like $10 for.
Oh yeah.
And have it be just better.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking to myself, if Theater Rhythm had free-to-play mechanics in it, it would essentially be Record Keeper minus the music elements. But it's that same kind of like, you grab a couple characters and some gear and you go into a dungeon and you finish it and then you can just move on with your day. Just the quick little pick up and play. And it's that same kind of, there's not really any story here. It's just like fun. You're revisiting all your old Final Fantasy buddies.
Yeah, okay.
And so I can't help but think like, wow, yeah, if they had stripped out the free-to-play stuff, put all of the timed dungeons just in there permanently and sold it for $40-$50, I'd have bought it and been happy. Oh well. Someday. No. Yeah, definitely not. We've burned that bridge long ago. The free to play genie's out of the bottle and he ain't going back in.
Yeah, it's actually mind-boggling when these things first started happening and becoming popular and more common. I was like just waiting for them to disappear. And I was like, there's no way people are like spending money on this. They're going to play until they can't play for free anymore, until it gets too hard or whatever. And that's going to be it. And these people are going to these developers are going to have wasted their money on making a game for free, and no one's ever going to give them money back. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because they keep coming out.
Yeah, and you know what it is? It's not that I would say probably 90% of everyone that plays these free-to-play games do not dump any money into it. They just, but then the last 10% spends ridiculous amounts of money.
Right, because it's like the only game they're going to play. Right?
Yeah, it's they just get caught up in it. I read an article a while back about a guy that dropped like $9,000 on some free-to-play game. Like in the span of a year, spent like $9,000.
That wasn't about PlayStation Home, was it? Because that sounds really familiar.
No, this was about that.
And there were people that spent a boatload of money in the non-existent game of Home.
Yeah. It's a specific type of person. It's almost kind of it's almost kind of unethical, I think, in some ways, because the types of people that spend money on this are the types of people that get addicted very easily to things.
They're at the gas station every 20 minutes buying another scratch ticket.
Yeah, because it's so easy. You just tap, you spend $1, and then there's more stuff going on. So you keep playing, tap, $1, and the next thing you know, you're like $4,000 in the hole.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a lot of tapping.
Yeah. So much.
Yeah. I mean...
they tap their finger down to the bone. They just get this little nub on the end. Gotta keep playing.
Yeah, I mean, just looking around, I'm like,
well,
I'm just a different kind of addicted.
Yeah.
Speaking of my addiction, so I downloaded Zombie, which is the formerly Zombie U.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For the PlayStation 4. It was on sale, and I knew I was going to like it because I had started playing it on Wii U, and it's good. I really, really prefer the PlayStation controller to the Wii U controller. I'm really enjoying it. The funny thing is I'm sort of concurrently playing Dying Light.
Yeah.
And Dying Light's this big AAA, like open world, like survival horror, like item management, crafting, like it just does everything you'd want this kind of game to do. And then Zombie's like the my first survival horror game version of Dying Light. It's like,
Uh-oh.
Is everything going to keep working?
I think so.
All right, I think we're good.
I think it's just the apartment settling.
No fires. So Zombie U it's like kind of confined maps. After playing Dying Light, you walk into an environment and you're like, where the fuck are all the zombies? And you're like, oh, there's 3 over there.
There he is. He's way over there.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you human? And you're like, yeah. Hold on, we're coming over.
Actually, can you just come over here? because we haven't been programmed to see you from that distance. And
Steve just had a big... You don't want him running. He just had a big lunch.
In Dying Light, it's like, I mean, just teams and teams and teams of zombies, just like I mean, just littering the street. Like, until you level up, it's almost impossible to play that game.
Wow.
And so, what's funny is that I went online and played with Jobby, who got his friend Jay. Jay, thank you for helping us out. Jay used all of these glitches, basically to duplicate all of these really high-end weapons and all these just, I mean, really cool things, like stuff that would have taken me forever to get. And he basically saved me from being frustrated in Dying Light, and he just started like just throwing hundreds of items onto the ground, being like, just take them, guys. And so I actually had fun playing online.
Nice.
And now I'm having more fun playing Dying Light because it removed the frustration, and now I can just go around killing shit. Which is weird, because I still die. I'm like, I am so leveled up, and I have like all this high-end equipment. And it sort of now allows me to see that there are major flaws in the fighting mechanics.
Oh.
Like I'm like, okay, I hit the button to swing the sword, right? And I'm like, this much into the animation, but then another animation trumps mine of some zombie coming at me and like biting me or something.
That's
I'm like,
annoying.
I'm like, this is wrong. I'm like, it's like pre-canned animations that are fighting each other. I'm like, why couldn't it all just have been? I mean, it is real time, but something's not working correctly.
Yeah.
And so it does lead to a lot of frustrations, but luckily, it's not nearly as frustrating as it was before. So then you have Zombie, which is like the super low end version of this game, but it does something different. Where we've talked about this before. You have, I think, an unlimited amount of characters to be, and as soon as one dies, you have to go find that person to get your stash back, which makes dying super frustrating. You're like, oh, dude, I could have made it. I was like almost there. And I also picked up a game called Slender, which is
okay, yeah, I think I've heard of that.
There's a couple of them out. This is not the better of the two.
Oh, all right.
There was a PS3 version that launched months back, or maybe a year ago, and it was just not very good technically. And so the PS4 fixes a lot of the technical problems, but it was like a $3 sale, and I was like, let's just grab it, play through it. And then Whispering Willows was also on sale for a couple bucks.
Is that like The Wind in the Willows? You driving Mr. Toad's car?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. This is a 2D side-scrolling adventure puzzle-solving game.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. The animation's nice, and you control spirits. It reminds me of Ghost Trick a little bit.
Okay.
But without all the Rube Goldberg contraptions. Yeah, it's good. And for a couple bucks, it's highly recommended.
Ghost Trick was one of those games that I was like, this does not sound at all like what I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally got persuaded to try it out, and I was like, this is so what I'm interested in. What happened? And it was pitched really badly, I guess.
Who developed that game?
I think it was the same people that did the Phoenix Wright series. It was Capcom, but one of their internal divisions that did Phoenix Wright. So that's why it had sort of similar sensibilities.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I've been playing this week. The problem, of course, being that we are now like about a week out from Fallout 4. So anything that is going to get played is going to get played right now. And then, unfortunately, the podcast is going to boil down to me and Brett trying to convince you to buy, actually Jobby too, to try to convince you to buy a PlayStation 4.
I will. I want to find one of those $3.50 bundles with a game that I actually want.
I've got a deal for you.
Okay.
If you buy the Nathan Drake bundle, Nathan Drake Collection bundle,
okay,
I will buy the Nathan Drake Collection off of you.
Oh, okay.
At a discount. It's going to benefit both of us here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you like $40 for it. That's almost what the price is down to. So then it's like $3.10 for the system.
All right.
But
this may have pushed me over the edge.
We'll discuss. There are, of course, a lot of bundles out there, so you may be able to even do better than that. We'll see.
If I could get Batman or Fallout, I would.
Yeah, what is
Microsoft's doing a Fallout bundle, but I don't think
Are they?
I believe so. I thought I've seen that up on Amazon.
Yeah, I think you're right. Wow, I mean, Sony should get on that. Microsoft's not doing well.
Really?
They stopped revealing sales figures.
It burns when they pee.
Ooh, I can identify.
Yeah.
They stopped revealing sales figures, and from what it sounds like, they're just not really going to tell us how many Xbox Ones are being sold anymore.
They're just like, enough. It's cool.
Actually, they're not even saying that. They're openly admitting that it's just not selling well.
the reporter's like, so how many Xboxes sold last month? And they're like, your mother.
He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, and of course, Sony, of course, is like blowing it out of the water. They are outpacing PlayStation 2 sales.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And PlayStation 2, from my memory, is the second best-selling system of all time.
Yeah, I thought so.
Just behind the Wii.
Yeah.
So, unbelievable. So this is the best performing PlayStation console ever.
Well, I mean, it's hard to argue. Nintendo's kind of going for a different audience, and Microsoft has just really dropped the ball this time.
Yeah. So I don't know how we got on this conversation.
I'm glad we did, though. I feel like we've both grown as individuals.
Nope. Weirdly, I'm just gonna jump into some news stories here.
Sure.
So Konami, who seemed like they were getting out of the video game biz, they announced that about a month ago they had shipped 5 million copies of Metal Gear Solid 5. And then their financials came out, and their gaming division, because of Metal Gear Solid 5, is the most profitable sector of their entire company.
Wow.
Which is a little surprising.
Yeah.
So you have to wonder, is this a shock to Konami? Are they going to be like, well, maybe we should look into making more video games? You know, like maybe we're not out of the biz yet. Or do you think they're just feeling like they're too proud?
I think if anything, they'll just become the Metal Gear company. I mean, they might, and even that I feel like might be a little bit of a stretch, because I think they're just kind of locked into the direction that they're going into.
I hope they sell their franchises.
Yeah, no, they won't do that.
Too proud?
It's just not the way that businesses work anymore. You know, unless you're some really small developer, occasionally they'll sell off things or something that was never lucrative. But just the way that copyright law works nowadays, I mean, certainly in the U.S., but even in Japan, it just makes sense to just hold on to things. You never know when you might be able to make money off of them. Where if you get rid of them, unless you sell them for a ludicrous amount of money,
like Minecraft with billions of
exactly,
dollars.
Yeah. And I mean, as much as I love like Castlevania and Suikoden and those kind of games,
which we're not showing gameplay footage of.
Yeah, take that, Konami.
We would. You won't let us.
As much as I love those series, they just don't have the cachet nowadays that, you know.
Castlevania went 3D. That was a bad idea.
Yep.
Metal Gear's awesome, but it takes 5 years to make one.
Yeah.
No, but they have the engine now. They have the engine for Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, they could shit out a Metal Gear Solid 6 in a year or two.
Yeah, and
which I'm assuming they're going to do.
I would guess if they're going to do anything, it'll be something like that. Metal Gear will kind of become the franchise. I mean, I don't think it'll be a yearly thing like with Assassin's Creed. Yeah. But I think we'll start just seeing regular Metal Gear games, and probably with gradually diminishing returns.
Yeah. It just feels kind of sad to know that we had that awesome PT trailer, and that Silent Hills will never be a thing. It's just, I don't know. The future seemed pretty bright for Konami, and then they seem to just jump off the plank, the ship, the metaphor.
Yeah. Did you see any of the there was some interview with Guillermo del Toro where he was just like, the fuck happened? This is going to be an awesome game.
Yeah, and he, I think during that same interview, he was like, I'm never going to make a video game again.
Oh, yeah. That's sad, because he'd be great. His films, his film sensibilities, I think, would translate really well to survival horror.
Well, this wasn't his first attempt at making a game.
Yeah, what was the other one?
What's that, Siri?
Yeah.
Hey Siri, what other games did Guillermo del Toro make? It's listing things that I can ask it. How far away is the sun? Turn on airplane mode. Find coffee near me.
Oh, well, that's an important one. There it is.
What games did Guillermo... I can't pronounce it. Fuck me. What games did Guillermo del Toro make? It's checking.
Here's what I found on the web for what games did Garamone here. I can pronounce it. Fuck me, what games did Garamone make?
Well,
we're just going to skip that
was
question.
productive, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, no, I do.
He's had a bad history. I feel like the one he tried to make before this didn't get made either. Or maybe it got made and it wasn't good. I forget how it all went down.
I'm just picturing him at home, like in a bathrobe with a tub of ice cream, just like, never again. Never do this again.
It seems like a strange thing to say. It's like, unless you're like 90 years old and you're throwing in the towel on, creating altogether.
Yeah, and it's not like he's got anything else to do at this time, right?
I heard that what's his new movie?
Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak. I heard it. It's not so good.
I've heard really weird things about that movie. It sounds like if you're going into it expecting it to be a horror movie, it's not.
Part of the same interview, I think. He was like, it's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's like, why did you make it?
Well, he said it, or at least what I've been reading, is it's a gothic, which often gets intermixed with horror, but it's different. It's not about being scary. It's about creating a sense of suspense and dread.
Right.
It's like was that Hitchcock movie, Rebecca, where it's not like any like ghosts are jumping out or anything, but it's a really creepy, unsettling movie.
All right. I'll have to look into that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weirdly, I don't know much about Hitchcock. I know Psycho, obviously, that everyone knows.
Yeah.
And then I've seen, I think, almost
The
every
Birds.
episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of stands to the test of time.
Yeah. That's. And you said you don't know anything about Hitchcock. I think I've maybe seen an episode of something like that.
Oh, okay. I feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I have seen one of the Birds movies. There's two of them, right?
I think there's only the one.
Oh.
Rear Window. Rear Window's the other good one.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Vertigo?
Oh, yeah, I've seen Vertigo.
Yeah, so what are you talking about? You've seen most of the good stuff.
Oh.
Except for Rear Window.
I just always assume that I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Nier. The sequel to Nier. Nier, I'm saying it weird, but is it Nier?
I think it's just Nier.
Okay.
Yeah. Nier.
Nier. Has a title, has a proper sequel name now.
Yep.
Automata?
Yeah, they released a trailer. I think it's that. They released a trailer for it last week, which I did
you
not watch.
Okay. So
I looked at pictures of it, though.
Let me help you out.
Okay.
You've
set the scene.
You've played Bayonetta.
I have.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like Platinum Games took Bayonetta, swapped out the characters in the background, and that is it. This is an RPG that they are making into a hack and slash Platinum game.
Well, I will say the original Nier, despite being an action RPG, definitely played more like a lower tier hack and slash game. So it's not quite the leap that it might be in other circumstances.
It just surprised me to watch a trailer and never once at any point see a town, a house, interactions between characters. It was just all jumping around, killing shit. And it was very Nier-like.
Yeah.
Nier.
Nier.
But it was just, if I looked at it quick, I would have been like, Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
Doesn't look as good as Bayonetta 2.
Well, I think I said 2 weeks ago when I was talking about Transformers Devastation,
yeah.
I started playing it and I was like, this is like Bayonetta, but with like dudes that turn into trucks.
Yeah, that's what I was like thinking about when I was watching the trailer. I was like, okay, so they made one game and now they're just like swapping out all the characters.
Which, if you're gonna base your whole development cycle off of one fighting...
is this what Scalebound's gonna look like too?
I hope so.
With dragons?
Yeah.
Actually, Scalebound looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll turn on my Xbox One for that.
Oh man, I can't wait for sexy dragon stripper fighting.
So Target is going to sell Nuka-Cola Quantum Soda.
Nice.
Which is the
Fallout classic drink.
What Nuka-Cola is the normal one, and I believe that's available in England, like somewhere.
Really?
There's some deal going on there, but in America, you can get the Nuka-Cola Quantum Soda, which is like the more addictive, less common soda in the Fallout games. And it is made in conjunction with Jones Company, or Jones Soda Company.
Did you ever find the Nuka-Cola Quantum Quest in Fallout 3?
I know I did, but I don't remember what it consisted of.
I think that may be one of my favorite quests in all of Fallout history.
Well, since we are getting close to Fallout 4, why don't you Explain.
There's this like one dilapidated house under a bridge, like in kind of a rural part of the game, and there's a woman living there who's just like
on the phone saying, "Do y'all call?
yeah.
Call."
There's this woman living there, and she's just like obsessed with Nuka-Cola Quantum, and she sends you out to get it.
Yeah, this is sounding familiar.
There's a dude there too, and he's like this scraggly ass mercenary, and she's just like, oh yeah, you know, we're in the apocalypse, but like I got my buddy here, he's gonna watch my back, he's such a great guy.
Yeah.
And you talk to him, if you talk to him separately from her, his whole goal, like his life revolves around trying to fuck this woman.
Yes,
and
I
she
totally
just is completely oblivious to it. And he's so angry every time. If you're a guy, he's so angry every time you show up because he thinks you're going to ruin it for him because you're bringing her like free shit.
Did they? I feel like I remember getting back to that house, and they were just gone.
Oh, really? I finished the quest, and I don't think anything happened to them. I love the fact that they're just stuck there, because, like, that's his whole life. He's this mercenary. He's obviously got guns and stuff on him. He's got some kind of, you know, martial training or something, and he just found this super hot woman out in the wasteland, and he's just like, this is it. I'm done. I'm just gonna bang this chick, and that's like his whole mission.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, Nuka-Cola Quantum, that'll be good. Although
I'll probably buy a few and put them on the wall and never drink them.
Yeah, well, in the game they're supposed to be like almost borderline undrinkable, like toxic. Because I think that's the other thing. If you keep talking to that mercenary, he tried to drink one once with her to like ratchet up the romance, and he spent like the next 3 days with nightmarish diarrhea or something.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Paris Games Week soon here, but we've got a couple news stories to take care of first. Outlast 2 got a trailer. Now, I know you didn't watch last week, but last week I did play. I finally downloaded the DLC to Outlast, the Whistleblower, which was on sale for like $250, and it was about 2 hours of gameplay, and it was nice. I was saying it was really nice to be able to go back into that world with an excuse, to be able to like go play a new story, which happens in tandem with the normal Outlast story, which is pretty cool. It all kind of ties together. And it was fun. It reminded me how much I really liked that game. And it's probably one of the best scary games I've ever played.
Okay.
Because it just manages everything so well. Like it's not crazy with the stealth. It's not crazy with the action. There's no fighting involved, so you don't have to worry about conserving ammo. And it does a good job of scaring you. But it does remove a lot of the frustration that we talked about in other games, like Soma got frustrating after a while. So it's coming in, Outlast 2 is coming fall 2016, new settings, new characters, but David, I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, I'm sorry, David Shetanukut, probably way
Smith.
up. It's actually
David
not
Smith.
even T, Shefanu, sorry, I don't know your last name. His quote is, "We're going to make Outlast 2 gamers suffer."
Nice.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Like, I'm ready for it. So, fall 2016, that's a year away. Very exciting.
All right.
Yep. Oh, Mario Maker's got an update coming.
Is that the Checkpoint one, or is
Checkpoint?
Yes. I think that came out already, didn't it?
November 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, mid-level checkpoints. So that'll add to the Mario-esque nature of the levels you'll be able to create. Also, you can combine a mushroom and a fire flower and put them in a block now. And so if you're small Mario, you'll get the mushroom. If you're big Mario, you'll get the fire flower, just like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Right? It's good, though,
Yeah.
It's good that you're able to do whatever you want to. You can kind of break the rules of Mario when you create your levels. So that's cool. November 4th.
Good times. Checkpoints.
Yeah.
Doesn't get more exciting than that.
I'm going to see if I have more information on this next story on hand. Paranormal Activity, which I saw, Paranormal Activity 6, supposedly the last one, leaves on a cliffhanger. Not
okay.
Terribly excited that they left us on a cliffhanger, because unless they're planning on making a new series revolving around the new story arc they sort of created, which would be awesome, actually. But
They're just going to call it normal activity. It's just people like going to the store, going to work, watching TV.
It's just selfies.
And nothing happens.
Just selfies that everyone's taking throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's poignant.
So, Paranormal Activity VR is a thing. And it'll be releasing next year, right around this time. So, right around the time Paranormal Activity 7 would have been coming out. And it's basically a 3 to 4 hour experience where it takes place in the paranormal universe, Paranormal Activity universe. But it's basically a haunted house simulator for your virtual reality, Oculus Rift, PlayStation VR, or whatever the Google thing is.
Yeah.
Is it Google? No. It's
Google Glass.
Nope.
That's the
Nope. It's the, come on now. It's the cell phone one.
Yeah, Google.
Not Google. Is it Google?
Yeah, it is Google.
Okay.
Because we're doing something about that at work. It's called Google. Oh shit! I was just seeing the poster about it the other day.
Right here.
Yeah, it's right here.
Google
There
something or another.
Yeah.
Why do I not think it's Google?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the cell phone thing.
Cool. So available for all three of those things, and I'm actually really excited because virtual reality already I'm excited about because I like anything new.
Because regular reality sure blows.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't. It's not quite what it's what we were promised. Yeah. So it's actually exactly what I want to do in virtual reality. I was saying this actually a couple weeks ago.
I would assume that's what a lot of people want to do with virtual reality is haunted houses.
It'd be awesome. Year round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the real haunted house business is they're all going to shut down because everyone's going to be sitting at home by themselves with VR helmets.
but you can't bite the actors in virtual haunted houses. Have you ever read any of those articles about you would think going into a haunted house that you're going to be the one that's scared, but it's like with bears. The people in the haunted house are way the fuck more scared of you than you are of them.
Well, I'm sure they've seen some crazy reactions to being scared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they get punched or bit.
Bit. That's just crazy.
Yeah, zombie comes out, and you're like, ah! Just
turn him into a normal human?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Oh,
Zombie
man.
bites you, you turn
These
into
movies would be so fast. They'd just fix shit so quick if they tried that.
Right. So Paranormal Activity VR. Now, okay, so let's jump into Paris Games Week.
Okay.
Now, Paris Games Week has been going on for a long time.
A week?
Nope. I mean, in the history of video game culture, we've had a lot of Paris Games Week. Never been newsworthy before.
Yeah, I don't remember it ever coming up.
Nope. So, but Sony decided to... I think this is Sony's way of getting their own stage time with no competition. Because what was it? GDC that Microsoft... No. Was it GDC?
Game Developers Conference?
That Sony actually opted out of. They didn't have a conference, and Microsoft sort of had all this time to show off stuff with no competition.
That sounds right.
So for the first time ever, Paris Games Week is getting a lot of attention because Sony's like, we're going to have a press conference, which is really strange because E3 wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And PlayStation has their own show.
Yeah.
The PlayStation Experience is, early December, I think? I actually considered going because I got some time on my hands.
Nice.
I'm not going, but I might go next year. So yeah, they gotta have their own. This says to me that they have a lot of shit to talk about. They have a lot of reveals because why would you do this literally a month and a half before your own show, right? So they come out, and actually before anyone comes out, there's like not a sizzle reel, but just kind of a montage, I guess, of different games that are on the horizon. It's really interesting, the games that they were showing. They were showing their exclusive remake of Shadow of the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Which looks strangely a lot like the original Shadow of the Beast. Not the greatest game series ever.
Yeah.
So a weird thing to choose, but so they showed some gameplay footage of that.
Shadow of the Beast, the really old one?
Yeah, like remember for Genesis and TurboGrafx? And actually, there was a Super Shadow of the Beast for Super Nintendo, I think.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah, they're not good.
Yeah, but so somehow Sony got the rights to this, and they're remaking it. I think it's Sony, but it's exclusive from what I can tell.
Okay.
Yeah, exclusive shit is still shit.
High fives were exchanged on that one.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. So they're showing some of that, and they were showing Fat Princess Adventures, which looks awfully similar to Triforce Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think I'd rather play Fat Princess Adventures. And then there was another one. They showed Alien Nation as well, which is the new Housemarque game that's coming. But the interesting one, which didn't get none of these games got any time during the press conference. These were just, they were like, these things are coming too. What Remains of Edith Finch? Have you heard about this?
Yeah. That's kind of it's in the same vein as like Everybody Went to the Rapture.
Okay, so I had a major issue with before I played any of these games. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, What Remains of Edith Finch, and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Yeah.
They all ran together because they all had long titles.
Yep.
They all looked like first-person adventure games. And now that I've played and beaten Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, I know full well that there's no other games like that. Thank God. Because it was awesome and really, really slow. Like, I only need one of those every 30 episodes of Gaming Without Parole. Every decade. Every 3 decades.
Okay.
It was good. But then, and then What Remained, Vanishing of Ethan Carter is like sort of like a mystery.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think scary, supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like sort of what you were talking about with Gothic, it's like setting a dark, maybe spooky tone.
Yeah.
But maybe not scary. And then What Remains of Edith Finch is totally different. It's by Giant Sparrow, who made The Unfinished Swan.
That I have no
So,
memory of.
I'm going to give you a 2-second elevator
Okay.
pitch of The Unfinished Swan. It's awesome. It's this 3D game, first-person adventure where everything's just white, and you just lob black paintballs at the wall, and it splatters when it hits the wall. So you like start slowly revealing your environment as you explore, and it takes that premise and like really expands upon it throughout the game. But it's more like a childlike children's book kind of feel.
Like Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Actually, not too far off.
Oh, that's kind of what it sounded like.
Yeah. And so What Remains of Edith Finch by the same developer is like a sort of, it seems like a darker take on that. Like the almost like childlike storytelling, but sort of darker, maybe more for adults. And you seem to take control of different animals.
Okay.
Like they were playing as an eel in one part, they were running around like as a cat in another part. Like just like wasn't really sure what was going on, and it seems to be like really whimsical and interesting. And so finally, these 3 games are getting separated in my head, and I'm thrilled. But now I need to actually go play The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, because that's the one I feel like I know the least about.
Yeah. You still haven't played Gone Home, which is the one that
Probably spawned all of these, really.
Yeah,
right?
And the one I feel like would really resonate with you.
Yeah, and I've gotten minor spoilers about that, so yeah.
Don't even bother then.
Well, I don't know everything. I just know, people just need to keep their mouth shut for a game like that, I guess. Although it's been years.
Yeah,
so,
it has been.
My bad. I do have a more powerful PC now. I should just install it on that and see what happens.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can do a Let's Play.
No. Remind me to talk to you about more videos I want to make.
Okay.
Okay, so after this gameplay footage, the conference actually starts, and we get the normal bullshit of like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and then like and then Starfront Battle Wars,
Starfront Battle Wars,
which I'm affectionately calling it now. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Okay, all the boring stuff's out of the way, right?
They should just like merge those games together. Like they just kind of all flow. Like
for me, they sort of
there's
are the
this
same game.
soldier running around killing terrorists, and all of a sudden he's just shooting stormtroopers for some reason.
Then he's in London.
Yeah, and then this London guy, this assassin, just drops down and stabs him through the eye.
And don't get me wrong, all those games are AAA games, and I'm sure they're all great. I just don't care. And I sort of was getting the impression, I was like, oh, you've got nothing to talk about. So we're just filling time with AAA non-exclusives. And then they start talking about quite a few different things. They Drive Club, which, although it came out a year later than expected, and it took about a year to fix it, people are really enjoying that game now.
Okay.
And so they added motorcycles, and so that is sort of a
killable pedestrians.
Well, no pedestrians even. Drive Club didn't really work for me, but it's working for a lot of people. And Drive Club Bikes is now a thing. It's either a standalone DLC or it works with the main game. It's up to you how you want to do it. That is now out. That was one of their, and it's available right now sort of announcements. I always like those, but the rumor was that it was going to be No Man's Sky.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it didn't happen. No Man's Sky did get another trailer. It's going to come out June 2016. No announcement of VR, which was the real rumor. That might be like a
VR tied to No Man's Sky, or
like secretly like a VR launch title. Which,
yikes! Wow, they're just really just going for it with that, huh?
Yeah, we'll get to that. So also they announced Boundless, which at first glance sort of looks like a more refined Minecraft. There's different portals, you can enter different people's worlds. Like it's, I think the pitch is that it's Minecraft, but everybody actually plays together in the same world. So there's like people running around everywhere. There's people doing things.
It's like Minecraft, but awful.
Well, maybe, depending on your outlook. Gran Turismo Sport is the new Gran Turismo game coming.
It's got cars playing baseball and football.
Right. Yeah, it was really...
Car football would be so amazing.
Except it combines the two things I care least about in this world. The beta's coming early 2016. I'm just trying to get all this shit out of the way here. I don't care about any of this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Gran Turismo is right there with Forza. You know, like, those are the two competing car games.
Yeah. And Mario Kart.
Yep. And we haven't seen Gran Turismo for a while.
Yeah.
So hopefully they've taken this time and really gonna... I mean, because Gran Turismo 5, by far, was the best-selling PlayStation 3 game of all time.
Wow, I didn't know that.
By far. It's like 15 million copies or something. Yeah,
I mean, I guess on some level it's not surprising. But...
Like, Uncharted only gets like a third of those numbers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
although I think we're going to see that change. Because what did...
Is Nathan Drake's going to be a driver.
Right. Yeah, it's actually time for an Uncharted driving game.
Yeah.
Like a kart
Uncharted
game.
kart racer,
Yep.
Yeah.
So then they showed Horizon, which is the new game by Guerrilla. Third-person sort of action-adventure game. They're kind of these mechanized dinosaurs that you're taking down. The whole thing looks kind of prehistoric, but it actually takes place 1,000 years in the future. So you're going to find like ruins of, you know, modern civilizations. And it just looks so cool. There's all these like there's crafting, which I know everything has crafting now, but it's like they've taken all these cool MMO elements and they packed it into this single player action adventure game, and it really speaks to me. Like, this game is like everything I want it to be, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm excited. Hopefully the gameplay that I'm showing right now illustrates what I can't seem to verbalize. Media Molecule came out and talked about Dreams, which is their new player creation tool set, whatever.
All right.
It's basically like if Little Big Planet could do everything you wanted it to do. That's it.
So sexy stuff, then.
Yeah, really.
A lot of sexy stuff.
I mean, I just hope that there's a game here, right?
I mean, his name's Sackboy.
I just hope there's a game. Like, I want to be able to pick up Dreams and play through an 8-hour game and never at any point feel like I have to make something.
But you like Tearaway. You're making shit in Tearaway all the time.
But that's about the extent that I want to be forced to make something.
So
where they're like
paper crowns for your guys.
At one point they're like, make a butterfly wing, and I'm like, done, I made it. Or you can spend 10 minutes and like detailing it or whatever. I want to have that ability, but they sort of make this look like you have to go into the world and remix other people's creations, and I'm like, and it looks really powerful. It looks like
wait, so you have to these are all collaborative efforts?
So that's where Media Molecule sort of failed on their presentation. They never really explained what you're getting when you buy the game. You know, like I said,
that's always ominous.
I want to be able to sit down and play an 8-hour game that they created in this engine for me to play. And then if I like really like to make stuff, then I can make stuff, and then I can see what other people have made. That's great. But like Little Big Planet at its core was a platformer.
Yeah.
A game that you could just play. And if you never wanted to check out other people's games, you still had a full, fleshed out game. And I'm worried that Dreams might not have that. So we'll see.
I'm just picturing the collaborative level construction. You're like, okay, so I spent 6 hours last night making this amazing level, and then I came back in today, and there's spikes everywhere, and all the enemies look like penises. That's what that's what you could expect with that kind of thing.
Yeah, to Media Molecule's credit, I've liked everything they've made.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know.
All right.
It seems like it's still a ways out. There's no like release date or anything, so we'll see. Michel Ancel came out from Ubisoft.
Okay.
Now he sort of also has his own development team outside of Ubisoft, and they're making a game for PlayStation 4 exclusively called Wild, which again we've seen before.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. That's the nope, drawing a blank.
Is this what we're doing? Just testing you?
Yeah. I know.
Wild is it looks. I mean, it looks kind of like Far Cry Primal.
Okay.
But it's third person, and you again, just like Edith Finch, seem to control a lot of different characters. And they showed this prehistoric guy swinging something in the air to summon an eagle, and the eagle comes down, and eagle goes, and you control the eagle, and you go get the snake, and then the snake you're used to create some vaccine for something, and then you see this cannibal camp, and you have to infiltrate that, and so you take control of a little bunny rabbit who's totally inconspicuous, and you run through the camp and sort of scout it out. Really ambitious for a smaller studio.
Yeah.
So that seemed to be everybody's sort of maybe not game of the show, but most intriguing, most different. So we'll see. Looks interesting. Jumping to the end of the show, David Cage came out from Quantic Dream, and they revealed their new game. Have you heard anything about this? It's like you don't even care.
About David Cage? Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, I think Beyond Two Souls was really rough, but still, like, I think I'm not in the minority when I say this. A game that wasn't very good, but I thought everyone should play.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they're trying to do has merit to it. I just think David Cage is a terrible writer.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I liked Heavy Rain a lot, and I think that I might be in the majority on that. When people talk about Quantic Dream, they say Heavy Rain was great, but Beyond Two Souls wasn't so great. And yes, there are plot holes running rampant through Heavy Rain. However, I think it's still an enjoyable game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't regret. I finished it, and I didn't ever feel like frustrated or unhappy while I was playing it.
Yeah,
but
I enjoyed Heavy Rain quite a bit. So their new game is called Detroit: Become Human. Now, interesting premise.
Is this a game, or is this just an address to the citizens of Detroit?
It takes place.
Get your shit together.
It takes place not far in the future.
Okay.
Where
so like all of Quantic Dream's games.
It's sort of the rebirth of Detroit as a city, as like an economic booming place where now they are the manufacturer, instead of automobiles, they are the manufacturer of androids.
So it's Deus Ex then.
Yes.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what Deus Ex is too.
Well, except this game. Do you remember the Kara tech demo that Quantic Dream showed like maybe 3 years ago?
Oh, I think so.
And it was like this girl being put together in a factory, and it was
so.
sort of her thoughts. And
yeah.
So David Cage comes out and says, like that was a tech demo, but everyone started asking, what happens to Kara when she leaves the factory? He goes, I didn't know. He said, but I wanted to find out. So they made this whole game based around this android wanting to become human, and kind of seeing the difference, how androids were treated versus how humans were treated, and by the dangers of AI in the future. And obviously there's a lot of different ways you can go with this story, but it looks really nice. And I think Quantic Dream always strives for that, like, graphical realism that maybe the PS3 just couldn't get. And so I'm hoping that with the power of the PS4, they get a lot closer.
Yeah, well, I never felt like their games, like the problems were graphical with their games.
Yeah.
There were definitely other issues there.
Yeah. Controls always seem really wonky in those games. So hopefully they've played some games in the meantime and taken some lessons.
Yeah. I do like that. I think they're the only game company that's ever been sued for mismanaging of an actor's likeness.
Oh, yeah. Was that Ellen Page?
It was Ellen Page, yeah.
Ridiculous. We do appreciate every single viewer.
We do, absolutely.
Please subscribe, share, like us. I got to create a Facebook page. Like I'm really slacking on this.
Yeah,
that's what everybody tells me. They're like, "Oh, you want more exposure? You got to make a Facebook page." I'm like, really? All right, I'll see if that works.
Yep.
Thundercloud, thanks for watching. Is that it? You good?
I'm good.
I'm good. Hopefully next week we'll see Brett and Jobby back here from whatever the hell they're doing.
Assuming they're still alive.
God, I hope so. For Gaming Without Parole, I'm Bryan Palm.
I'm Mike Zeller.
See you next week.